motivation and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Ryan Garcia tweets that Kambosos beat Devin Haney, but we're going to dive into his Twitter feed, like in the lead up, during, and after, and we're going to just find out, is Ryan Garcia a flat out hater? All right, let's take a look at Ryan Garcia's Twitter. Oh man, my man Ryan Garcia. All right, starting 12 hours ago, he said, watching the lead up to Kambosos versus Haney, and I'm seeing Kambosos and Haney both getting a massage, but more so George. It's not smart because it reminded me of Hearns versus Hagler when Emmanuel Stewart didn't like it because it makes you too relaxed. Let's see how it plays out. That's what he had to say. Then he said they both seem off rhythm and now off to the second round. Then he says, considering that it's an undisputed fight, very underwhelming and no urgency by either men, edge to Kambosos. Then he wrote, boring. All right. Then he wrote, at Javante, you watching this stuff? When we fight, don't let it be like this. Then he writes, congrats to Haney, but it was definitely just a bland fight. Anyways, I'll just say, you know who I want after Fortuna. Let them have their rematch. LOL. Absolutely NyQuil type of performance. Hold on. So then Tank responded, shut the F up to Ryan Garcia. And Ryan said, oh yeah, you say shut the F up, but you were screaming, I'm next. You should want this fight. Don't trip. Your disrespect will be addressed. Promise you that. With the, it looks like he called him the B bomb.
Oh, that's crazy.
And this is him on the, doing his little pity patter on the machine. So all right. I'm gonna turn it over to you. Conspiracy G, what are your thoughts on Ryan Garcia's tweets about the fight, especially saying that he gave the edge to George Kambosos? And is he a certified hater at this point?
No, he's a certified hater, but what I'm thinking now is he did it intentionally because he's a social media kid. So I have to believe he's doing this because he knows he'll get exposure. He doesn't necessarily mean it, but because he's the only person on the planet of his stature, the only athlete, only boxer I can see online hating on this performance, he's going to be the talk of the town. So I think he did that deliberately. You know what I mean? And then hopefully him just talking that talk could get him the Devin fight afterwards. So I think he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? But it just comes off as like, bro, you're forcing it. There's no way you had Kambosos up. I don't know what round he was talking about. There's no way he thinks that.
He gave him the edge, G. I don't know, G.
That's hate. You know what I'm saying? Like when your eyes start deceiving you. You know what I mean? Like it's all right, man. Yo, Ryan, I get it. Trust me. I be wanting to hate on a lot of people sometimes. It's all right to just be honest with yourself. Be like, you know what? I can't do this, man. And I think I honestly believe though, Ryan knows what he's doing on social media. So this is just a facade. He's just playing games. Hopefully this will spark conversation on Twitter, on Instagram, and then everyone goes like, yo, we need to see Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney now, so he knows what he's doing, man. And I know Oscar also wrote something on Twitter like, next stop is Ryan Garcia. I'm like, man, watch your mouth. But, if they could build a campaign enough, because I think Ryan is arguably like the least skilled out of all the top 135ers. But if he makes enough noise on social media, hey, man, like that might be a huge fight for Haney, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, Haney, it is what it is. Yo, when you got haters, you're doing something right. So, as long as Ryan keeps hating, Devin, you can capitalize off of this.
Dog Bill.
Yo, Ryan need to stay away from them Tecates. Ryan bugging. Repost Tank. That's my response. I repost with Tank said. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryan remind me of T-Bone when he was sitting in the van and he's rapping and rapping. Hey man, shut the.
He didn't tell T-Bone to shut up. He told the other dude to shut up. I remember that. T-Bone was spitting. T-Bone was spitting that flame. He told them other dudes to shut up because he knew what was up.
Nah,
Taking out love, and that's our job. If you say we the Crips, then you hit it on the knob.
Rocket don't smoke cause Rocket no joke.
He had bars, dog. T-Bone was nice with it. And T-Bone was getting them rabbits. Nah, I don't know if you stuff.
Nah, man. Ryan, I guess he feels like he has to talk to stay relevant or whatever it is. But I think Ryan, man, I think you really need to stay away from those guys. Like honestly, Ryan, and just fight the low level guys you're fighting until you developing your skills, because these guys is on a whole different level. But it's cool, Ryan. I see what you're trying to do, but yeah, I think it was definitely some hate. You know, a repost with Tank said, man.
Ryan has the nerve to call anybody's fight boring. His fight with To-Go plate was boring. The most exciting thing about that fight was the ring walk from To-Go. You know what I'm saying? That was the most memorable thing about that fight, was To-Go's ring entrance. That was the best part of that entire fight. And also, To-Go isn't in nobody's top 10. Hell, he's probably not in anybody's top 20. And you didn't look good against him. But you have the audacity to sit there and talk about Devin Haney, who's making someone like George Kambosos. If you don't know who George Kambosos is, he's the guy who beat Teofimo Lopez. So a guy who has a victory over Teofimo Lopez, who dropped Teofimo Lopez, Devin's making him look basic. And you call it boring, right? See, there's the thing that annoys me, because if I know how good George Kambosos is, and I know how George Kambosos normally looks when he's fighting people, and Devin neutralizes him to the point where he can't land a punch, to me, that's actually exciting. You see, there are different types of styles in boxing. There's different types of fights, right? And do I like a good old slugfest? I do sometimes. But you know what I think after a good old slugfest? Man, I hope them guys are all right. Mm-hmm. Like that probably shortened their career. When I see a guy like Devin Haney make a guy like George Kambosos miss and frustrate him, make him want to quit on the stool, that's impressive to me. I love it when Lomachenko does it. You probably love it when Lomachenko does it too. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But when Devin does it, I still love it. You don't love it when Devin does it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. When you see Canelo do it, you love it. You praise Canelo for the same types of performances. Now, I know Canelo gets stoppages, but I've seen Canelo straight up box before and get props for it. You do whatever it takes to win. There are different types of fights. When I watch basketball, I love seeing dunks, but I appreciate a good 3-point shot too, a nice 3. Whatever it takes to win. It's George Kambosos' job to put a glove on Devin Haney. Devin's not supposed to just station himself there, put his foot inside a tire and say, you put your foot inside tire too, Kambosos, and we're not going to move and see who wins. That's not how Devin needs to fight. That's how you need Devin to fight if you want to win, maybe, right? That's how George needed. Go ahead, G.
An example of this is Floyd versus Pacquiao. People were hating on Floyd. Yeah, that fight was boring, this, that, and that. I'm like, fam, that's Pacquiao's fault then, because Pacquiao's the explosive, exciting fighter, but Floyd neutralized that. So what you got to say now? You know, this is the same example.
No, you're right. I've been there. Bernard Hopkins versus Felix Trinidad. Mm-hmm. Man, listen, I watched that masterclass. It hurt my soul. I wanted Bernard to just stand there and let Felix hit him with a left hook. But that's because I was rooting for Felix.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, Bernard was putting on a masterclass like he was supposed to do. I never thought the fight was boring. It's never boring when you're fighting really good fighters. You know why? Because one punch can change anything. Unlike Ryan, when you were fighting to go, that was boring because you were just outclassing the dude and struggling with him. Like you couldn't stop him. When I say struggling to try to stop him and you couldn't. But when I watched Devin neutralize Kambosos, there's always that energy because you know that Kambosos, if he lands something, he can alter that whole fight. Right? When you see a guy like Kambosos being outclassed, that's entertaining to me because I know how good Kambosos is. You just watched the number one dude in your division get neutralized, disarmed, and dominated. And you thought that was boring. But you think Fortuna, you think you and Fortuna is going to be something exciting? That's what you think? You think the world is about to be like, yo, that Fortuna couldn't, Kambosos would knock Fortuna out inside 3 rounds, bro. So, like, that's what I mean. Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, bro. You sitting there fighting these dudes who, yeah, if you knock out Fortuna, what does that mean? Could you knock out Kambosos? Would you be willing to prove it and fight him after Devin? That's what I want to know. You know, Ryan Garcia is turning into, I mean, he's turning into like a Rolly-less Rolly. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to be Rolly. But you can't be Rolly because Rolly done stepped in the ring with Tank. You know what I mean? You trying to be Rolly now, it looks like. Oh, I'm like, Rolly got a lot of fans doing this. I'm going to do this. The difference is Rolly took the fight. Ryan, how about this? You on mute. You on silent. You on block until you fight a real fighter. Then you can talk. But don't talk trash about a man who went to Australia in front of 40,000 fans to fight for undisputed and actually won. Now, I know y'all got y'all little rivalry that dates back to the amateurs. Devin used to beat on you in the amateurs. You got some wins on Devin in the amateurs. I don't know if they were real wins or I don't know if it was just you had the right amateur judges because we all know how corrupt the amateur system is. But in the pro game, Devin is levels above you. Levels. Devin got 4 belts plus Ring Magazine belt plus franchise belt if you want to count that. And you got toy belts. Enough said.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Elevation single out right now on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Room.